What's up, everyone? So today I'm joined by Tim. Tim, I'm on FaceTime with Tim. Can you say hi?
Alright. I don't know if you can even hear me. I think you can.
Okay, so basically what the stream is going to be about is it's going to be a Q&A session. You can ask me which stocks to chart in the chat. Tim's with me. He can also share his screen if you want him to. We can just hop on a Discord call. We can figure that out later. But yeah. Let's summarize what happened today. So basically in the market, let me actually pull up a chart. So for SPY, which is the S&P 500. Basically what happened was, um, let's go on like the 30-minute chart. Basically what happened was around like 2 o'clock, which was somewhere around here, the data came out from the interest rates where um, it kind of hinted to us that rates were going to increase in 2023, which in my opinion was inevitable. I think it was going to happen anyways, but markets don't like rate changes, so they went up. And then around 2:30, that's when Powell started speaking. That's when the market actually started recovering because Powell was basically indicating that it's too early to tell, like, when to raise rates, when to, like, steady bond purchases, all that stuff. But that's basically what happened in the market. Technical analysis wise, we recovered pretty nicely actually on the 1 day chart. Um, we didn't close above the 9 EMA, which is alright if we reclaim it tomorrow. It does look like we're still within like a rising wedge channel over here. It's a pretty messy rising wedge, but looks like we
I think
did.
if you pop on the 4 hour, you're gonna see it bounce off the 21.
Let's see, on the 4 hour, yeah, we bounced off the 50 EMA. So last time we did crash, we also bounced off the 50. So it wasn't that bad today. I honestly was expecting a lot worse. Um, but yeah, we just have to see tomorrow. Also, before markets closed, I did also see a bunch of SPY bearish flow. So if you don't know what TradyTix is, it's basically a really good tool to show you options flow. And basically what TradyTix does is it shows you all the options flow made by really big investors such as hedge funds and really rich people. And they're the ones that actually control the market. They're the ones who actually know which direction the market's going to go. We're basically just retail investors. We basically have to like do all the work of actually making money, but they know where everything goes. So they would buy calls and puts and everything. And if you look at SPY, there were a bunch of last minute puts that were bought. This one was at 3:59 and 50 seconds, 3:59:39 seconds. They were all puts. They do have long expiry, so I would keep in mind on that. But it basically just shows us that tomorrow's going to be a really choppy day. Tim, do you have anything to add to that?
Um, Not really, to be honest. Jay covered everything on that. Just wait for setups, catalyst based, technical analysis based. A lot of your swing setups are gonna either make or break overnight a lot of the times, which is why when we call swing trades, it's kind of lottos in a sense. But a lot of these SPY puts that are bought are also like used to hedge bets that are being made that we are bullish. So some of them can be hedges, but most of them would be likely betting on potential downside, which we'll see. But as far as trading in general goes with the terrible price action of SPY, just expect setups to break. Don't expect to have a great win rate. Just go quick ins and outs if you can, and day trade more often rather than swinging, because in this market, swinging is literally 50-50. There can be news dropping overnight, and it's a very news-based market nowadays. You have Fed rates, etc. So just be careful.
Exactly,
Rest
and
on it.
hmm exactly, and Tim did bring up a really good point. Some of these can be hedges. Um, some of them are like really far out, which means that they can be swings, they can be hedges. And keep in mind, 108K is actually not a lot for flow. Usually for flow, that actually means something. It has to be like over like 500K to a million. I did see some flow that was like 30 million the other day in calls, and those are the flow that actually matter. On TradyTix, there is a option called a flow over a million. and you can see that let's see, around 3:47 before market close, there was a really big call flow. We aren't sure if there were puts or call if there were like if it was bought or sold, but let's see here. I do remember seeing that there was also like another put option that was bought. Let's see. Like for this option over here, I'm pretty sure the same guy also bought 417 strike puts, also 5,000 trading size. I think he has spent I think he spent a premium of like 500k on those puts. So usually for flow, you also have to kind of guess, I guess, in a way, because sometimes these flow where someone buys something and then sells something and they're the same strike or something. It can also be a spread that they're buying with, maybe like a debit spread, maybe something else. So
I think you could go to the right on this and see whether it is one or not if you like move your
you
wrist
can.
on the right.
So yeah, and for spreads,
You can click on spreads, filtered by spreads right there.
exactly, and just
You
kind
can
of look
see
at
that
that.
a couple of these are spreads, a couple of them are not. So you can filter it by spreads or not if you want it.
Exactly.
So it is a very helpful tool. If anyone wants it, it's called TradingTix. It's kind of what we use for flow. If anyone remembers my XLF trade from today, I essentially had two reasons for entering it. Number one was obviously you had the FOMC news, rates. A lot of influence that would happen would be through banks and tech, because there's the two main groups affected by this stuff. And when I saw a lot of bullish flow coming in for XLF, and I looked in past history of flow running up to this day for XLF. There were a ton of $1 million plus flows, which can be convenient to look at because you can change dates on TradingTix, obviously. So you can look at past flows as well if you feel like it. So I saw a lot of past flows coming into today where it was kind of bullish, although today was a little bit questionable. But coming into today, there were a ton of like very in the money sweeps and stuff like that, and you could see that as well. So I kind of just went with the flow. Get my fun there. But I kind of just went with the flow there and took it because mainly banks, tech are affected, and I made a bullish bet that maybe the news coming out would be positive for banks, and it did end up being positive for banks. But a majority of my bet was based on the fact that the big boys thought that it would help X up, like financials, the news would be positive, so I went with it.
Exactly. So basically for flow, how we find lottos is we look at flow. We look at whatever it's getting hammered. So whatever stock is getting a bunch of call flow, a bunch of puts flow, and then we just kind of look from there. So like, if my page would load, I mean today was a pretty boring day. There wasn't really anything getting hammered. Did you see anything getting hammered, Tim?
I think I believe I saw a lot of, I saw a lot of interesting calls at the end for like, I saw a lot of Apple flow actually.
I mean, yeah, and Apple usually gets a bunch of flow anyways, but something can also put is above ask, and what this basically is people that are buying in a hurry, they're willing to pay more money to buy something, and at 357, at 354, there were four calls that were bought above ask. These two are actually expiring quite recent. These three actually. This one's a weekly actually, so. This basically can also give us an idea that maybe Apple's going to do well tomorrow, or maybe they're buying this for some other reason. Maybe they want to exercise it. I don't know, but you know, TradingTix gives us a really good idea of like which direction the stock is going to go. It also gives us good ideas for confirmation. For example, if you see an ascending triangle on whatever stock, let's say we see a confirmation, an ascending triangle on Apple, we can go on TradingTix and kind of look at what the hedge funds are buying. If I see all calls and I see an ascending triangle, then that will prompt me to alert call option for Apple, because first of all, the hedge funds are buying it, which 9 out of 10 times it's gonna go in the direction they're betting on, and also there's a bullish pattern, so TradingTix is really good for confirmation plays and everything. But Tim, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. We can probably just pop right into what we came here for, which was the Q&A.
Yeah, so I'm looking through the chat right now. Someone's asking what app is this? This is TradyTix. I did put a referral link in the chat. I think it gives you a discount, but it's only $50 a month, which is a bargain. Considering how much money it made us. But when you send an alert regarding flow, can you guys say something regarding that? So whenever I send alerts regarding flow, it's always a lotto. Every single lotto I play is from flow. I base it off of flow. I don't look at charts because technically it is kind of a lottery. You're basically betting on something that like other people are buying. So that's why I call it lotto because it can either go to zero or it can either explode. I know that 9 out of 10 times my lottos actually do work because, as I said again, hedge funds usually are right. I mean, there's rare chances where they aren't. And I see that. Let me see. I'm reading through the chat right now. Do you see anything, Tim?
No.
All right. Well, we can talk about some current. So okay, someone asked me what are other ways do you find plays from TradyTix besides the live options flow? Are you asking me what other types of play I find, or is it just?
I mean, if you're talking about TradyTix in itself, you have these things called swing profits.
Oh,
or
let's take a look
just
at that.
general options flow on the day on your sidebar. So if you want to plot your sidebar out, or you can just go to TradingView. But if you just go to TradyTix and go to the sidebar, you can go to something like option dashboards on the top.
Okay.
Dashboards.
This one.
I sent you the wrong way.
Then this one. It shows you the general sentiment of the market and everything. This program also has swing ideas and day trade ideas. I don't use them because well, first of all, I like charting out my own stuff and knowing myself which direction the stock is going to go by myself. I don't really like a program doing it for me, but you can also use that. But to answer your question, how I find plays or how I actually call plays is I look for patterns just like everyone else. I look for a bullish pattern, maybe a bearish pattern, maybe something on the 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart, and I just kind of wait for confirmation. And the key word here is confirmation. Especially in today's market, we're driven by news. So a bad news can come out and suddenly everything crashes. But if you wait for confirmation, wait for. So let me actually pull up a stock that actually had a pattern. What's a stock that had a pattern today?
Let's see. I believe Run had a bull flag.
Oh yeah, Run. Sunrun. So Sunrun had a pretty good day today. You look at it. I might need to go on a smaller time frame. Okay, so for Run today, let's see what time frame is it on. Well, over here, this is a good example. So over here, there is some resistance over here. It did double top over here, but I did see. So I was looking at this today. I did see ascending support, which is like this over here. If the first time Run broke the resistance over here, you can even go on the 1-minute chart to look at it. Actually, no, never mind. But on the 3-minute chart, you can see that Run actually kind of broke support over here. It was testing support over here. The third time it did break support, if you were to buy a call over here, up here, thinking that Run did break support, you'd be losing money. And the reason I say that is because, it went right back down. How you look for confirmation on the stock when it breaks out is, number one, you wait for the next candlestick to form above the resistance. In this case, you wait for this candlestick to form. When you see that this candlestick actually formed above resistance and it held, it held this level, that's when you can buy a call knowing that Run has broken out its ascending triangle. And sure enough, Run did retest, but it did go back up. And I think right around here is when the news start coming out. So today is a pretty weird day, but patterns still work. But also something else that you should look at is the 9 EMA, which is the 9 exponential moving average. How I use this average is depending on where the stock is, if the stock is above the 9 EMA, this green line acts as support. And it also says that the stock is in an uptrend. Opposite to that, if the stock is below the 9 EMA, like over here, it's in a downtrend, and this 9 EMA acts as resistance. So another way to look for confirmation is the candlesticks actually holding above the 9 EMA and not actually like, you know, barely holding onto it, and the next candlestick it drops right below. So that's how I usually look for trade plays. But someone's asking me what time frame. Tim, do you want to tell them what time frame you use?
So as far as swing trading goes, I usually use the 1 day, 4 hour time frame, because usually when I look for swings, I like to look on the bigger picture rather than going to the smaller pictures. So I mainly focus on the day and 4 hour because I like to keep my swings long. Okay, that sounds really bad. I like to keep hold my swings for a bit. So I usually watch 1 days and 4 hours. And then when you're day trading, I usually look at the 5 and the 15. I'm kind of sticking to these 4 time frames. I don't find any other time frame very useful. Particularly, I know a lot of people like the 1 hour, but I don't personally like using the 1 hour. I mainly use 5, 15, 4 hour, and 1 day.
Yeah, personally for me, personally for me, I like using the for swing trade. I like the 1 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, and 1 day. I usually switch around 4 hour and 3 hour because they give me different perspective on different stuff. For day trades, depending on what stock, I can use the 1 minute if it's like a really like liquid stock like Microsoft, Apple, or like sometimes Facebook. But for like a stock like Run, if you go on the 1 minute chart, it's gonna look like this, and you can't really trade using this. But I generally also go on like the 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, to day trade. But like as Tim said, when you do swing trade, you go on the larger time frames because it's the bigger picture. It's gonna last for a couple of days, so of course you want to look at the larger picture. Yeah, but that's pretty much the time frames we use. A lot of people did ask me if I use seconds. I do not use seconds to trade because
That is pretty stupid. Please never use seconds.
as you can imagine,
That's sad.
exactly, as you can imagine, if the 1 minute chart looks like this, the seconds chart is going to look even crappier. So stay away from the seconds chart. Don't pay extra just to use some useless feature, please. And also, guys.
The next question, wait, before you continue going. Someone said how many quantity do you recommend for small account for regular alerts? I'm gonna interpret that as how many trades you take on a small account. I would, if anything, honestly, some days I would take 0 trades on a small account. On days like today, where the sentiment's very unclear, you really don't know what's going on as far as news comes. The moment it drops, you suddenly go one way or another. And then Friday, we have this thing called quad witching, or I think it's quad
Witching,
where futures contracts reset, and so people reset their contracts to either be long or short on the market. It's like options contract, but like a lot more importance depending on whether people go long or short. So this week was bound to be volatile coming into it. And so this is the kind of week, like, unless you see something really good catalyst based, like something that I was considering swinging was actually Run right here, because for continuation, because it looked good. I didn't decide to swing it because I thought, hey, is it really truly worth it with this week? News can drop the next. It's that kind of week where you can get news anytime, anywhere. So I decided not to, but it's obviously up in after hours, so that's kind of sad, but it's fine because small accounts need to be preserved.
exactly,
You can go wrong anytime.
exactly,
And
and
to what someone said, have you tried to trade with Fusion? No, it's impossible.
yeah, I mean, yeah, unless you have a lot of time and you're really quick, which I'm not. Sometimes you can't catch on, and sometimes stock, even when we call stuff, stocks take off without us, and that's just how it works. Like sometimes it just happens, but we always try to make our entries as playable as possible. And also another rule I make to myself is I never have more than 5 to 10% of my account into options at once because as you may know, options are really risky. If you play something and it goes wrong really badly, you can lose up to 100% of your contract, which is really scary and it won't be fun. So that's generally my rule of trading. Even with a small account, even if your account is $1,000, don't spend more than $100 on options at a time, because if you lose all of them, you're suddenly at $900. You just suddenly lost 10% of your account, and you're gonna need more percentage to actually recover that lost money. So that's my general rule. If there is a trade that is larger than what you can afford, just ignore it. There's always trades in the future where you can trade and get money, right? The stock market's not gonna like expire by itself, so um, you
I
know,
mean, you never know, but yeah.
yeah, but it was the stock market did exist back in like the 1600s, so chances are it's gonna be around even longer. So all right, we have more questions. And guys, feel free to put in ticker symbols in the chat for us to chart. This is a Q&A session, so um, we love full participation. I feel like a teacher right now, but yeah.
Also, whose charts do you think are cleaner, mine or Jerry's?
Let's show a
We always
picture
have
of
the-
Tim charts.
We always have arguments every day about whose charts will look cleaner. I don't know why this happened, but I think Jerry's chart sucks and that he should change it. But he never listens to me because he
Okay,
thinks his charts
you
are
know-
better than mine. So.
Okay, I have nothing to say right now, but hold on one second. I just lost the tab from my chart. Hold on. Okay. See, my charts, my old candlesticks used to look like this. So, I mean, which one do you like better?
I don't think we can see it. Oh wait, no, you can. Oh, I think it might be delayed.
Yeah, my
oh,
stream's
that
delayed.
looked terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So I do see a few questions in the chat. Let's see here. Okay, someone wants us to chart Walmart. Okay, that stock had quite a crash the other month. Oh well, it had quite a crash today actually. So
Did it?
it did. So let me go on the larger time. Let me go on the daily chart to see what I can see. Wow, Walmart had quite a crash today. It broke.
Vice is trying to fly. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Michael. But how I so sorry, not Microsoft. Walmart broke right through the 200 EMA today, which is vital support. In fact, by now Walmart does look like it ignores the 200 EMA, which is not that good. I do see a diamond pattern on Walmart, which did indicate that Walmart was going to crash. A diamond pattern is basically just a reversal pattern. As we plot out the diamond pattern right here, you do see that Walmart did break through the diamond pattern today. You can also arguably say that this was the diamond pattern. This definitely isn't. So Walmart did break all support today. I don't really know where a bottom is for this. We can go in a larger time frame, maybe like the weekly chart, to look for like an EMA line. Oh, okay, it did bounce right off the 50 EMA today, which I guess is good news. But if it breaks down any more than that, it can possibly go back down to the 130 levels, which ideally is not good for Walmart. Do you see anything, Tim?
I would just watch for a bounce near the blue line like it did last time when it first broke down. That would be what I'd set an alert. Because in the past it looks like it always bounces off that.
Yeah, whenever Walmart does like correct or it does crash, like what crash was this? This was the 2018 like trade China like crash over here.
It kind of rides it a lot of the time. Like I think 1, 2, 3 bounces so far off that blue line. 4, sorry, off that blue line. But when I watch that, I don't remember. I don't know what it is on yours, but whatever the blue line is
Like the 50 EMA.
Oh, is that the 50? Okay,
Yeah.
I have to watch the 50.
Yeah, on 50 on the weekly. Like for the March pandemic, Walmart also bounced off the 50. For the I don't even know. Oh, this was the earnings crash for Walmart. It also bounced off the 50. Currently, we're at the 20-day EMA. Sorry, this is the blue line's the 100 EMA. My bad. This is the 100 EMA. The orange line is the 50 EMA, and currently it is at the 50 EMA. It looks like it bounced, but who knows what it's going to do. And also for flow, you can actually check, you can predict, you can kind of get a good idea of where a stock is going to go tomorrow. So let's search Walmart up in flow and see what the hedge funds are buying. If my computer decides to load. Walmart. Let's search that. Pretty mixed flow. All the call options are actually, their premiums are actually pretty low, only like 40k, 20k. Really not much going on with Walmart, which shows us that this can go down even more. If I go to short expiry for Walmart to see if there's like a short-term bounce, it's overall bearish, really not much flow. So I'm not really sure where Walmart's going to go tomorrow, but it does not really look that nice. Is this stream recorded? I'm pretty sure this is recorded. If it's not, we can I will have streams in the future. So if you did miss out anything, you can always show up next time.
Damn, someone already signed up for trading tricks. That was quick.
Yeah, and also guys, if you ever need help with trading ticks, you can always DM me. Like, it's not that hard to understand. Once I can just like show you some, maybe like hop on like a quick call, and then we can I can explain to you like how I use the different filters are really helpful, like short expiry, all that stuff. It's really helpful. I personally like it a lot. Thoughts on SPY recovery for 425 calls for 625. Ooh, okay. In my opinion, 425 is a bit out of the money currently, but and 625 is pretty recent, but depending on when you buy it. If you bought it at the bottom today, I think you'd be good. If you bought it at like 425, then you might want to cut some losses depending on the theta on that contract. But
I would reevaluate your situation this Friday after
quad glitching.
You'd have a better idea of what people are betting, and once you see that, you'll have an idea of what you want to look at. So I'd wait till Friday. If you're lost most of its value or half of its value, there's no point in cutting it at that point. If it's like 10 to 20%, just keep it small at that point. But if it's like you're already down half or 75, you might as well wait until Friday, see what happens, and if it looks kind of hopeful on Friday and everything goes well, then you might as well start considering to average down. But I wouldn't make a loss bigger than it is if you're already in losses. So that would be my suggestion.
And I'm currently on SPY right now. On the weekly candlesticks, it looks like it broke the ascending triangle, or this, I guess this can qualify as a rising wedge. Like, it can be both. It did break to the downside, which, surprise, surprise, we saw this much red today. But for 625 calls, I'm really not sure. I'll give you that. Anything can happen. It depends on what happens on Friday, as Tim said, and it also happens on where we go tomorrow. If we keep going down tomorrow, and we break this 21 EMA over here, which is the red line, we can go as far as to the to 414, which is going to kill your contract. So my suggestion for you, and keep in mind this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but what I would do in your situation is, depending on what happens tomorrow, if my contract's only down like 20%, maybe I'll like hold it. But if I'm already down like 50% or like and like theta's really strong, that contract, I might just cut the losses there. But SPY does look like it did break a rising wedge today. As I said, it's a pretty messy one, but it's still there, right over here. And usually rising wedge breakouts don't only last for one day, so we can see. Tim, do you see anything else that's like interesting? Anything?
Interesting in what? The chart?
Yeah, in SPY basically right now.
Zoom out a little.
I
guess that orange line, whatever that is a big point of confluence always.
Yeah, that's the 50 EMA, which is at 414. So, that's for sure going to kill your contract if it goes down there. But that's basically what I see on SPY. And the last time we broke a rising wedge, which was like somewhere around here, around March. It's a pretty messy rising wedge, but I'll draw it anyways. right here. The SPY had 2 red days before actually recovering and actually going up higher. So that's also a good idea to like, it's a good idea to look at past SPY action. Over here, there's another rising wedge, right here, somewhere around here. This red day only lasted for 1 day, and then we gapped up tomorrow, and then we gapped up, and then so I guess we have to wait for tomorrow. We have to wait for the quad witching, but your expiry is pretty near, and the strike is, I guess it's kind of in the right place. It's a little high in my opinion, but depends. Yeah, someone's asking me to look over Intel. We can do that. Intel. So Intel actually reacted pretty badly to the news today. Still fell within support, which is why I didn't cut it. In fact, our contracts are like, I think they're only losing like a little bit, which is alright because our expiry's in like July 23rd, I think. Number one, there is a giant gap we have to fill. Intel's generally really good at filling gaps. It does it really quickly. And
number history of making gaps as well.
Exactly, so we can actually gap up to fill that gap, which happened before actually. I'm not going to waste my time to look for it, but it did happen before. So and also we also see inverse head and shoulders. If I go in the 4-hour to give you more detail, there is an inverse head and shoulders if I get the correct tool to actually draw it. Right here, right? There's the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We were in pretty dangerous territory today. We fell all the way down here. I was thinking about cutting it, but it was kind of like a flash crash. So usually these flash crashes usually recover. I guess you could say Intel was in the rising wedge, but if we go in a smaller time frame to look at Intel, it looks okay. We're still within support, so depending on where Intel goes tomorrow, it looks like we sort of held like 21 EMA kind of on Intel today. And also our contracts expire in a month, so more than a month, so we should be fine. But Intel does kind of look like Twitter. I don't know if you remember, but Twitter, I did draw that rising wedge and it actually did break out today, but if we go on the 3-hour chart for Twitter, there's this giant gap over here which is similar to Intel's. We ended up filling it, but there was also kind of an inverse head and shoulders over down here. Or you can say this is a rounded bottom, but you got the left shoulder over here, head, right shoulder. Intel's kind of similar. You can see that Twitter did have like a massive rally, but then decided to die for a couple of days. Actually no, this is on the hourly, so a couple of hours, and it ended up filling the gap. This was on May 18th, and a month later we just filled the gap. So that's why I took a month out expiry for Intel, because it can take a while for us to fill the gap. So we just have to be patient. If you have enough capital and if your account is large enough, you can average down if you want to, but I would suggest just forget about it. If Intel does crash a lot, then we can determine when to cut, when to average down. But if the contracts right now are around break even, so I would just not worry about it too much. All right. Do we see anything else? Someone's asking about Amazon. Tim, do you wanna let me get on a Discord call with you, and then you can show Amazon. How about that?
You can show it as well. I'm fine. It's extra. I'm happy to.
Okay. Let's go on Discord.
So we're watching a stream through a stream. Interesting.
Alright, Tim. Apple the Spy Whisper. Alright, let me call you real quick. Alright, you can share your screen from here.
So they can see my... Okay, this is so weird. Applications. So do you see my screen technically?
I do.
Okay. So...
Oh, I don't think I
yeah,
can.
Amazon Amazon? Okay, I did. I had a long chart for Amazon. So I haven't updated my Amazon chart in ages, but what I essentially had, if I push onto the weekly, yeah. So I had this kind of as a key level in the past. I was expecting that we get a retest if we break above it of resistance to go continue moving on to the 0.618.
Wait, Tim, hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Alright, hold on. Alright, continue.
So I was expecting that we might break over first time around and retest that new support and then keep on moving, but we didn't end up doing that. This was a long time ago, keep in mind. So I guess it was kind of in the general idea, except this retest went a lot deeper than I thought it would, like right there. But I think we can break this key zone the second time around, and I think probably my end of year target is around the 3969s, 4000. You'd probably have to break the zone I have right here though. But I think we might have to reset a bit and maybe possibly reject this zone. Or if we do break over it, we might have to consolidate here for a bit because of the fact that, wait, let me remove this first. Because of the fact that RSI looks very overextended, MACD looks almost overextended. So you're going to have to consolidate for a bit to reset that back into the neutral zone so that you can make a push towards this target. So I'd say maybe we break over this right here and then consolidate for a bit, or we just reject it and then push back down a little bit, but not as much, so we can reset here. And you'd ideally want to be around the middle of the RSI, not in like the green zone. So usually speaking, green zones, it tops out, and most of the time it ends up topping out. So you ideally don't want to buy it there, but if we break over and consolidate, that might be your entry. So you have to ideally see what happens with how Amazon reacts to this zone. And obviously this is a major triangle, and you can kind of see if I like kind of adjust my triangle right here, it kind of looks like a retest from that angle. So if you look at the weekly, it kind of looks like a retest on the weekly. The RSI isn't as bad, and the MACD looks like it's about to cross on the weekly, which is a very good sign. You might just have to consolidate a little bit more, and then you likely have your 4,000 in the card soon. Also, that's also dependent on market conditions, but this looks like a really good setup. If you have shares, I'd be very happy because it's taken almost a year. How long has it been consolidating for?
Like since that September crash.
A year now. Ever since a year ago, we've just been sitting in this box back and forth, no direction. I think the same case
And
was
video.
with Facebook as well. You're sitting in that box forever and finally got some movement. And usually when Facebook moves in a certain year, that's usually very good news for tech. So I will take that as very good news for Amazon as well.
And if you look at Nvidia also like consolidated like similarly, and like Nvidia, Apple, those stocks, yeah, Nvidia also like kind of traded kind of like a sideways a little bit.
Damn over. I think honestly the best short opportunity is when Nvidia splits.
Yeah, might honestly pull a Tesla.
Yeah, I think it can pull a Tesla very easily. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Apple also kind of is similar. It kind of I think it's been trading sideways since that September crash.
That's what I have on Apple. We kind of have the symmetrical triangle on the weekly. It's been kind of slow. We held support, watching to see how we react to that right there.
But since we are expecting some kind of like correction in the summer, that symmetrical triangle is neutral right now, so this can end up being around the top if you look at it too. So hopefully it's not that, and you know we pull a Facebook, but Amazon and Apple kind of are like, you know, in the same area right now. So is like AMD. I can't think of any other. I think Netflix has also been like trading sideways too. So AMD is kind of a mess, but it's also trading sideways.
AMD looks really nice actually. If I adjust my lines a little bit, which I will for here, you can kind of see we're kind of bull flagging off the broken resistance on the weekly, and if I look at the daily, you can see it a little better. But we're bull flagging kind of off the resistance and still holding the EMAs we have here, which I think I saw a lot of bullish flow for AMD coming near the end of the day. But tomorrow would kind of be your make or break day for AMD, and if you want to look at targets, your ideal target would be the break of the purple line, which is the 200 SMA, which is 83.86. And volume bracket, yeah, you're catching support from the volume bracket as well. So if you clear this zone right here that has been struggling with over like the past week or so, if you break that, I honestly think this is ready. It's been sitting in consolidation for way too long to not move.
Yeah. Tim, someone asked you what the MACD is and EMA lines are. I know you don't have TTM squeeze, so I can explain that later. But
Sure. So
MACD,
MACD is essentially, I think it's like moving out. Wait, I
it's like
forgot. I
momentum
think it's
something. Momentum average, like
no,
no.
it's not momentum, but it. I
Oh, it's
think.
like
Wait,
something divergence. Wait, MACD.
I think it's moving average convergence
Oh yeah,
divergent.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so what we mean by that is you don't even have to understand what that means. It's a sign of momentum. I use it as a sign of momentum that when you cross when the green line crosses the orange line or whatever I have right here, it's not going to be the same for you because I spent time designing my chart for no reason at all. But when you cross towards the upside, the green bars show up. That means that momentum is crossing towards the upside and that you might have a short-term bottom in. And then when it obviously crosses to the downside, you're like, okay, maybe we're starting to head towards a downtrend. But the MACD cannot essentially be used by itself. You need to have a lot more indicators to confirm with it. And that's where the RSI and the EMAs come into place, where if you see, like, example, a major break of support, like let's see, what can I think of? Right here, like let's say when we get this massive red candle around here on AMP, let me go on replay. Boop. So if I replay, in the past, we broke over the flag and had that massive red candle. And then wait 1 second, let it finish. Yeah, and we broke below almost all key moving averages, and you can see this is kind of converging to the downside, and you're in the kind of like neutral zone in RSI. That's when you know, okay, this is a truly bearish setup. So MACD can't be used by itself, and have to kind of look at your moving averages, look at where your volume brackets are. Volume brackets are where you can tell where something's going to be volatile or not. So we're pretty far away from a major volume support, so we've got plenty of downside to go, and so that's where MACD helps. And then if you did take a bear setup and this you crossed to the downside right here, almost held support here, and then continued kind of falling, and then you had the continued bearish momentum here, and then once you cross back up, I'll do it, but we didn't cross back up, and then we bounced right off the trend line right here. So that would be your ideal short setup. You always use MACD as confirmation and not as an indicator in itself. And then as far as moving averages go, I just use it as a sign of support or resistance. That's essentially how I like to look at it. And okay, let me go close out a replay. But when you are above it, it can act as support, and when you're below it, acts as resistance. And they're very helpful when you have a stock in a big downtrend or uptrend. Like when you're in a big downtrend, you ideally want a stock to like claim like the 9 and 21 day EMAs, and that shows like you're kind of ending the downtrend and showing some signs of strength. And then when you do the complete opposite and you lose the 9 and 21 on an uptrend, that's when you can say, hey, maybe the uptrend might be over in the time being. So moving averages are very helpful, and a lot of times stocks like to ride it, especially on like not parabolic moves, but like crazy moves like Nvidia. You can see that we kind of rode it, and then once it breaks this 9 EMA, that's when you consider shorting. But for now, it's kind of just flagging into it and then just continuing to ride it. So that's what moving averages for. Honestly, I can't wait for Nvidia to split so that I can short the shit out of this. Holy shit, this looks so extended. But yeah.
Alright, so someone asked me about TTM squeeze, so I'm gonna stop sharing Tim's chart.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to go back to ugliness now.
Oh, wow.
Sorry about that.
Okay, okay, let me just get rid of this. Okay. Alright, so back to my charts, the better one.
Cap.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get rid of this. Alright, so For
I'm waiting.
so let's just use SPY for example because that's the what is wrong with my chart. Hold on 1 second. How do you get rid of this? Alright, there you go. What the hell? Do you know how to get rid of this?
Just press delete on it.
I know, but like whenever I click, it just like
Well,
that's
I
interesting.
do not know.
Oh, my mouse is inverted for some reason. Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna explain it really quickly because my trading view is glitched. But basically, TTM squeeze is kind of like the MACD. It shows you the momentum, but it also shows you like which direction the stock is gonna break out from. Whenever the circles are red, that means that the stock is kind of consolidating. There's really not much movement. When it's green, that's when it's actually breaking out in a certain direction. TTM squeeze is determined, like it shows you the momentum of the stock based on the color of the bars and the height of the bars. You can see that as bullish momentum goes up, the height of the bars go up, and also the color is lighter. Once the stock loses bullish momentum, you can see that the bars start getting shorter, and the colors start getting darker. One way to have TTM squeeze help you is the oh my god, this I don't even know how to get rid of this thing, but sorry about that. So around the September crash, you can see that we've been going up a lot. Like we've been like the SPY had like so many green days, and every day we go up like 1% or something. And TTM squeeze shows us that SPY is losing momentum, and as it goes down, you can see that there's more purple bars showing, which means that we're breaking out to the downside. And sure enough, we did crash, and we had the whole entire correction. So I need to get my trading view fixed. Or I need to like reload my page or something. This pretty annoying, but that's basically what TTM squeeze is. And also, everyone uses different indicators. Use the indicator that best fits you. Like don't use an indicator if you don't know how to use it. Know what you're using. Everyone has different preferences. Your charts are what you're familiar with. Also, always stick with the indicators you like most. How do you get rid of this square? Jeez. Does anyone in the chat know? Let me see. Yeah, I honestly don't know. Alright. But, yeah, does anyone have any last minute tickers? We have been on here for almost an hour now. I need to get my chart.
Yeah, I think you're selected into a tool here.
Am I?
Check your left side. Click on something.
Oh my god. Okay, I think I'm good now. Okay. It automatically selects me to this.
Oh, does it actually?
Yeah, automatically selects the ruler for me. Yeah, it's probably a trading view glitch. Maybe if I like.
Alright, so they want to see UAL and they want to see QA.
That's only if my chart works. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna stop my screen sharing for a second. I'm gonna reload this thing. Hold on. Hold on, the screen is black for a second, but that's because I'm reloading my trading view. If my computer is a bit faster. Okay. Alright, I'm back. So, okay, my trading view is doing the same thing. Yeah, how do you exit this ruler thing? I don't know. So let's go on UAL. So UAL, I had this this falling wedge plotted out for a long time now. There's a secondary resistance. You can see from here to here. I don't know why this line isn't moving. Yeah, my trading view is glitching so hard. I apologize. I don't know why this is not doing whatever it's supposed to. I can't really chart it right now. I need to see what the hell's wrong with my trading view, but there is a secondary resistance from this point to this point to this point. We just bounced off the secondary resistance today, which means that we didn't fully break out the falling wedge. But if you go on a larger time frame, maybe like the 1 day. And this is also similar to Boeing. I know some people pointed out Boeing. You can see that there is a cup over here, and this falling wedge is technically the handle. Same thing for BA. You can see that this is the cup, and we do have a falling wedge as a handle. Depending on where we bounce, depending on where we go, if we go back up, it will be a valid cup and handle. So it depends. And someone said QS. Alright, QS is going to be the last stock on the chart because I need to figure out what's wrong with my trading view. QuantumScape. QuantumScape is a meme stock. I know Tim did play it a couple of times. I'm sorry, my chart is a pain in the ass right now. So right now, currently, QS, let me take a look. It looks like there is a falling wedge pattern over here. I don't know if I can use my lines properly. Let me see. Okay, I can. Okay. So there is a falling wedge pattern over here. I don't know why my line isn't... What the hell? Okay. Yeah, this is not working. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is the last stock I'm charting, but you can see for QS there is a resistance line over here. I can't really draw it because my trading view is being a pain right now. But this was a falling wedge, it did break out. Currently, this can either be forming two patterns. It can be forming an inverse head and shoulders if we go even on a smaller time frame, like the 30-minute. You can see this can be a inverse head and shoulders. I don't think it's likely because there is...
I think you can also view it as a broadening formation if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
If you like kind of like align your resistance correctly, it kind of looks like you broke out of a broadening formation, and kind of you see the inverse head and shoulders obviously, but if Jay is able to draw the broadening,
I can't draw the line. I can't draw it. Yeah.
But you can search on broadening formation. But yeah, so that's kind of being broken out of. I think if we break out of here, which might be more outside.
So it's basically like a megaphone pattern, basically.
Yeah, and then someone was asking about, yeah, that's a broadening formation, but someone was asking about, are there indicators or scanners to detect patterns? You can check out this platform called Trend Spider if you are looking for something like that. There's like those softwares, you have to pay a lot more obviously, but they're designed to make trading a lot less hands-on and more like automated. So it will like detect patterns for you automatically. You can set alerts for patterns and stuff like that. The tool's called Trend Spider, and it's a little expensive. Obviously, it's not free because it has tons of advanced stuff. But if you're kind of looking for scanners like that just search for patterns on it.
All right. Yeah, obviously my charts aren't, helping. So, that is it for today. If you ever have any questions, feel free to DM us. We're gonna work on calling out even better plays. I know Tim had a really banger day today. He called out like a couple of like 100% plus plays this week. So and he also has a 100% win rate this month, which not everyone can do. So the clap for Tim in the chat. but my charts aren't really helping. It's been an hour, so hopefully we do another Q&A session in the future. But yeah, that's gonna be our stream for today. So hopefully we'll see you in Discord soon.